Hi everyone, welcome to another session of AVnTech4Church. Before we begin, we would like to inform you that we have created a Facebook group where previous webinars, together with articles relating to technology for churches, will be uploaded periodically. You can also raise questions to this group. We hope that this will be useful for the community and that you can search for this group in Facebook under AVnTech4Church. Now, today's presentation is on fundamentals of video production for hybrid worship service. Our presenter for today is Stephen Yeo, Technical Director of Hope Church, Singapore. Please note that your audio and video has been disabled. If you have any questions, do post them in the Q&A tab. We would like to thank our sponsors for supporting this webinar. They are Acoustic and Lighting, Infiled, and Hope Church, Singapore. We will be taking a break midway through this session, and we will be conducting some easy quiz for our audience to win attractive prizes. Now, without further delay, let me hand you over to Stephen.
Hello everybody, thank you for joining in this webinar. I'm really privileged to have a chance to share with you what we have learned over the days on how to produce video for hybrid worship services. I know that during this pandemic season still, there will be hybrid services still running with people in person as well as online. And so this webinar, we want to actually share a bit on how to produce video for your live service as well as online, and it will touch more on the skill set of the camera crew, the video mixer, and also a bit on graphics and computer graphics. So let me run through briefly these three aspects, and we will go through part one for the video camera crew. In video camera crew, we want to touch on 5 areas. First will be the purpose of a shot. Second is on shot sizes. Third is on the camera angles. Fourth is composition of a shot. And lastly is the camera movement. Now, due to time constraint, we cannot cover everything in depth, but it is just give you a fundamental principle of what it means to produce those shots as a cameraman. So stay tuned and we will jump into the details. After we watch this short segment of a video that we produce for our own church service, and it's a short praise and worship session with 4 musicians and 2 singers. And hopefully after you watch this short video, we will go into the details about how the shots were formed behind the scene.
Singapore, are you ready to praise God in this place? Wherever you're at, I invite you to stand up on your feet, and we're going to sing up our God and His power. Amen. Come on. He's coming on the clouds.
He's coming on the clouds. Kings and kingdoms will bow down, and every chain will break as broken hearts declare His praise. Who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles. Every knee will bow before Him. Our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains. Every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb. Every knee will bow before Him.
In the video that you have just seen, here we want to break down the shots and explain to you what it actually means as a camera crew. So, number 1 is on the purpose of a shot. The purpose of each camera shot in the video production is important because a shot is a series of frames that runs for an uninterrupted period of time. Right? The video shots are essential aspect of producing live stream for your hybrid worship service, where angles, transitions, and cuts are used to further express the emotion, the ideas, or the movement of the subjects on stage. Now, the purpose of the shots are divided into 6 sections. Number 1 is on location. One of the shot that you see, it will show the location, where the location is set. The band, the music team, singers are all standing, sitting around on the stage. So that is your location in the video as an example. This is your church venue, your hall, your stage. So the second shot is on the action itself. The person standing there speaking, singing, or a musician playing the keyboard or the guitar. Those are the action that they are doing together. So an action shot will show a bit more of them performing the actions, not so much of the location, the surrounding. Now the reaction shot, next one, will be for, as the worship team goes in, there will be multiple people reacting to this whole praise and worship session. So these are all reacting to one another as the band plays, musician turns around and sing. These are reaction shots, and it's good to have multiple cameras here to capture some of the reactions on stage. The third is reaction. The fourth now is emotion. Now, sometimes when we are doing, it's not just the action itself, but we want to capture the mood, the energy of the song, or the expression of worship, and that is part of our emotion. Is being captured. If the camera were to go in closer to capture the eye details, the hand movement, and so on. Sometimes even with the mask on, we have to like smile with our eyes. Yeah. Now next will be information. There will be lyrics at the bottom. These lyrics at the bottom is part of the information. In other shots, like for infographics, sermon titles, text, this information are being added in as well. In the details, we will talk about more on it as we go through this webinar. So information shots are useful to provide data to supplement the video shots. And lastly is a transition. Now, some of these shots we will want to have a transition between one shot to the next, and this transition are important to consider how we can bring the videos to seamlessly match them together. You can start with a single camera to 2 cameras, and you want to transit them nicely together. Transiting from one camera to the next has a certain rules and guidelines as well. We will share more details as we go on. Now next is on shot sizes. As a cameraman, you determine the shot size of your frame. When you're shooting, the shot size is how much the setting or subject is being displayed within a given frame of a video, hence the scope or the size of the shot. Generally speaking, we can break this into 3 main shot sizes, and they are long, medium, and close. Now in these 3 basic shots, there will be one more shot wider than it and one more shot closer than it. And here we have 7 shots you're able to create from these basic 3 shot sizes. They are extreme long shot, or in short form XLS, long shot, which is LS, or 3/4 shot in 3 is TQS, medium shot is MS, medium close-up is MCU, and close-up is CU, and lastly, extreme close-up is XCU. Now, extreme close-up are not very commonly used in normal hybrid worship service, but I will bring it in as well because that is part of this whole range of from the wider to the closest in. Okay. Now, I'll give you some detail on the shot size so that you understand some of the characteristics of these shots. For extreme long shots, it is used usually to show the subject from a distance, or the area in which the scene is taking place. Usually is a location shot. This type of shot particularly is useful for establishing a scene in terms of the time and the place where it is located, as well as the characters' physical and emotional relationship with one another in that environment that they are in. For example, the worship team here you see in the picture, the musician is standing behind, and then the 2 singers is standing in front with the background of the scenery at the background there. Okay, so this sets the extreme long shot. Now the next shot size as you go in closer up would be a long shot, a full body shot another way. So this shows the subject from top to bottom, head to toe. For a person, this would be framed in filling the frame. Not necessarily tight, but there will be loose gaps in between as well. This character becomes more focused than the extreme long shot. But the shot tends to still be dominated by the scenery. You will still see the scenes behind him. The emphasis tends to be more on action and the movement rather than the character's emotional state. Next shot, as you zoom in a little bit more, we have this 3/4 shot or medium-long shot. Now, medium-long shot usually is just an intermediate shot between a full shot and a medium shot, shown with the subject from the knees and upwards. Okay, and then as you zoom in tighter, it will be a mid shot. Now, this shot shows more details of the subject. For a person, a medium shot typically frames from about a waist upwards. This is one of the most common shots seen as it focuses on the character or the characters in the scene while still showing some environment. Now, this shot will be important for cameramen to master because most of the shots when you have a person talking, a mid shot will be commonly used. Next one, as you zoom in closer, will be mid close-up or MCU. Okay, MCU is not the Marvel cinematic universe. So this is medium close-up, MCU. It falls between a medium shot and a close-up shot, generally framing the subject from chest or shoulder upwards. And as you go in closer, you fill up the screen with part of the subject such as the person's head or face. This is a close-up shot. Frame this tightly, the emotions and the reactions of the character dominates the scene. The eye contact, the expression on the face and the smile will be seen. Now, extreme close-up, as earlier mentioned, is not commonly used for the face in a normal worship service setting. But this shot frames the subject face from above the eyebrow, just above the eyebrow to below the mouth, about the chin here. So it emphasizes on small areas or details of the subject. Facial expression or hands playing the musical instrument, a keyboard for example here, etc. So this kind of extra close-up will be useful as a fill-in add-on in your production. Not critical if you only have a very limited number of cameras to go about. So, but if you have additional, then extreme close-up can be considered. It will add value and add depth into your production. Moving on to the next topic is on camera angles. This is still part of the camera crew's skill. You got to see it eye level, and that's one kind of a shot that is shot straight onto the eye level, just like this camera shot right now. Another angle is on the low level, high level, over the shoulder, and a Dutch angle, which is kind of a tilted one. Let me go through the details a little bit. Eye level shots are very common, and this shot is shot at the human eye level right now, or about a bit on a shoulder level is also okay. It is resulting in the neutral effects on the audience. When you look at it, like this shot is feel neutral, you are standing on par with the subject. Now, shooting from a lower angle will make the shot coming from, let's say, hip level, knee level, or ground level is shooting upwards. This will make the result of the subject looks more powerful, more dominant, more significant. And some of the shots when we shoot the worship team, we want it to go lower up so that they feel there's this presence of them on stage leading the congregation as well. So you can consider a lower angle to just have a variety of it for the leaders who are speaking. A high angle shot, for example like this, is taken up from a higher level looking downward, and so this is sometimes called an overhead shot as well. Now, this shot can have a different effect. It makes the subject in the shot seem small and insignificant. Like in this shot, it's like all the small people are all dotted, but the auditorium is the main location, so it's shot from a higher level. Now, another shot, a creative one, will be over the shoulder. Now, this shot is actually shot, for example here, just the camera is just off the shoulder, showing part of the subject's shoulder, and anywhere from a medium to a close-up shot is common. It tends to place more of an emphasis on connecting between the two person or a group of people surrounding the person, so that it's not a detached, isolated shot. It's then a single shot. So in this shot, you see that the drummer with the drum set and the bassist in front of her. So there is a over-the-shoulder shot example. And Dutch angle shot. Dutch angle shot is actually a rolled shot. The angle of the camera is rolled on its axis so that the horizon line is not level. It's purposely created so that there's more dynamic and it amplifies a emotion state. Sometimes when we are playing a certain instrument, you feel the energy of the playing, then sometimes the camera can actually do a Dutch roll to create that angle. Or you can set the camera static on a Dutch roll for a music piece. Usually for that kind of part, then we will do that. But for general speaking person, then we will not do any Dutch angle unless for creative element like in song or presentation. Yeah. Right. Here we want to share a case study of how we produced the video that we watched earlier on a simple 4-piece band. Consists of a worship team, 2 singers, 4 instruments, and they are piano, electric guitar, bass, guitar, and a drum. And this floor plan is a simple layout on stage. You will see them dotted on stage with the 4 camera position. The camera 1 and camera 2 is at the middle of the auditorium. Camera 3 is on the right front row, and camera 4 will be on the left front row. So the arrows on this is representing the shots that the camera can go to take those subjects. Now in your case, if the venue is smaller, then you have to pack the instruments tighter together. Cameras may not be on the front row, it can also be on stage just beside the instrument. Some of these cameras, for example, camera 3 and camera 4, can be locked down and placed next to the instrument. Means there is no cameraman there. You frame it fixed and then you lock down the camera. So 3 and 4 and even sometimes camera 1 can be a lockdown camera as well, showing a wide shot. Okay. Now let me go through some of the examples you can do with this 4 camera setup. Camera 1 will start off with is a wide shot. So like mentioned, it can be a lockdown camera. Lyrics lower third is added from the graphics. The shot size can vary between an extra long shot to a long shot. Okay, show your full stage and show the background and your set design. Okay, so this shot is important for you to establish the shot, establish the location. So it is important that your venue, your stage is also being dressed up with props or certain sets, elements to be brought in. It can also have a minimalist look, it's also okay. Lighting has to be considered as well. Although this webinar is not on lighting, maybe the future ones, we can talk about lighting the set and lighting the subject on stage and lighting the background as well. Then we would have the place either the floor and then the wall and the ceiling. Sometimes part of the ceiling structure or the wall behind the stained glass or etc. can be also added into the background as well. Okay. Now for camera 2 will be usually a long shot of the worship leader or the service pastor. Mid-long shot, mid-shot, close-up, or even mid close-up, right, or close-up can be used on this shot. This will be a follow shot, follow whoever that is speaking or singing. This camera 2 would be your master camera, and most of the talking, speaking person shot will be by this camera as well. Camera 3 would be on the left of the piano. Then it can have a lockdown position placed beside. Now if your band is not laid out this way, you can consider different camera angles as well. Then cam 4 can be on the other side of the drums, doing over the shoulder. Okay, now cam 3 alternative can be shooting from a low level angle to the singer or the worship leader in the front row. Okay, so cam 3 actually, if you have a man camera, you can actually vary between these 2 positions. Now alternatively, you can also plant another lockdown camera to camera 3 position. Okay. Now camera 4 again, you can be on the opposite side of camera 3. Camera 4 will also do a low angle, either a long shot or up to close up of the worship leader. Okay, moving on to the next topic is on composition of a shot. For a cameraman, when we frame the subjects in the shot, a composition is the arrangement of the elements in an image or a scene in a way that is pleasing or easy to read. So arranging these elements inside your frame is important. Understanding this, good composition will help you create a more eye-catching content. Now there are a few rules, and I want to share with you these rules, and so that these rules or guidelines will be a useful guide for you as you frame it. The basic rule of thumb would be the rule of thirds. Rule of thirds simply divides the screen into 3 sections: top, middle, bottom, left, center, and right. And this division, like a tic-tac-toe kind of image, is your guidelines. Usually this rule states that placing subject or point of interest along these lines or on one of each side of this intersection makes the overall image more pleasing to look at. So the general rule of thumb is to place a subject eyes at the top intersection, 1/3 of the way down on the frame. Here is an example of the rule of thirds, and this is how it looks like when you have the subject in the middle with the sides as well. Next one is another rule is a leading line. Leading line is a composition technique where lines within the image will guide the viewer's eyes to an interest point. Now, for example here, if you see the lines are actually diagonally converging into the middle, and that's where the subject is standing. So the lines are actually created from the backdrop, the angle of the scenery at the back. Next one is on headroom. This rule of headroom would be that it refers to the distance between the subject's head above the top of the frame. Okay, this gap here, the headroom, can be seen well if it's well taken. But if the image will be awkward if there's too much headroom, or also it will feel a bit claustrophobic if it's too little headroom. Right? So take note of this headroom aspect. This is another example of it, a well-designed headroom. Next one is the lead room or nose room. Now, nose room or lead room is the space in front of the subject in the direction moving of the moving or stationary subject. For example, in this shot, the well-composed shot will leave space in the direction of the subject facing or looking. Okay. Next one is symmetry balance. Now, this is a traditionally, filmmakers were taught not to put all the images in a symmetrical form. They usually will advise do it more asymmetrical. It means not symmetrically centered. So asymmetric balance is important. If you can put it inside in your composition, so it come across not too staged, not too central. It will add dynamic into an image. For example, like this, singers is placed on the screen right, looking with the nose room, and you find that it is still balanced with the space on the left. Now, next rule would be on layers. Layers, it means that there are elements in the shot that is closest to the camera, and that makes up the foreground. And then there will be elements in the middle of the shot, which is the middle ground. Then there are shots at the back, which is the background. So these 3 grounds are actually layers in a shot that you can add in so that there will be interest. Shots that is placed in front and the middle and the back. Now, not all images need all 3 elements. Sometimes it's just 2, just a foreground and a background, and there's no middle ground. Some of the shots that is shot with the middle ground will add interest, creating depth and dimension, and we need to learn how to place subjects interspersed for the camera point of view so that there's depth. So the stage design for the background is important, and certain elements that's placed in front where the camera can go and include part of it into the frame will add layers into your composition. So you can consider this in your shot arrangement as well next time. So for example, in this photo is the stage. The worship leader is standing in front as a foreground, and then the middle ground is where the drums and the keyboard is. Then the background will be slightly to the back, will be the sofa, the table, and then there's some book stand. The bassist and the electric guitarist are standing at the background area, and then just behind them will be the scenery. So creating depth will be a good idea, how you can layer. So consider layering. Whenever you take a camera shot, consider these 3 layers included inside, it will be great. Now next, it will be on camera movement. Now due to time constraint, we will not go into the details of this. It will mainly be when the camera needs to move, there will be a certain terminology, we call it pan left or pan right. So it's a panoramic or pan in the shot. Tilt will be tilting upward or tilting downward. Ease in is and ease out is actually a movement where you slowly go to a stop, or from a stop position you slowly get up to speed, to full speed. So the easing in is a slowly slowing down in the process of before a stop. Okay, or easing, that's the easing in. Easing out will be from a stop position, slowly move up to speed. Okay, now this is a small little technique. Sometimes you don't notice it in a very good camera move. Ease in, ease out is actually present. So take note, if you are handling a camera, we don't do the kind of like a hard stop immediately or start jerk kind of movement. So you just think of it as like an elevator going up and elevator stopping. That's the ease in and ease out effect. Zoom in and zoom out, similarly, there is an ease in into the zoom and ease out into the zoom as well. Zooming in will be closer to the subject, zooming out will be widening. Focus in or focus out will be lens focusing, and some camera we are able to do manual focusing, and we can adjust the focus so that it is sharpened when it's focused in and it is blurred when it's focused out or out of focus. Push in and push out is the whole camera plus the pedestal or the tripod is being pushed towards the subject. So it is a push in. And then pull out will be pulling it away from the subject. So these shots will be difficult to take if you don't have proper dolly or track system. So usually we just do a camera zoom with the lens only. But the push in and pull out will have a more cinematic, more dynamic effect. Because as you are pushing in, the background changes the perspective. Compared to just a normal zoom lens zoom in, the background did not change at all. So only the shot kind of size will change. So consider push in and pull out kind of effects. Even though it's a short duration, it will add more cinematic feel to your production. This is for more advanced technique then. And dolly left and right would be the whole camera plus the support is moving left and right. So it's different than a pan, but pan is that the camera is static and then just the camera moves. But in a dolly, the whole camera plus the tripod moves together. So you are changing perspective as well as during the move. The background does have a feel that is changing. Okay. Again, this one will be a more advanced shot to take. If without proper dolly or track, it will be very difficult to carry it out smoothly.
Hope that you have found the presentation beneficial so far. We'll be taking a quick break to conduct some quiz where you can win prizes. Do bear with us as we transit to live.